Welcome to the Lakers Nation news feed. My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. We are powered by CLNS Media, and today's show is sponsored by MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/LakersNation for 20% off the most comfortable pair of underwear ever. I am literally wearing some right now, maybe more than you wanted to know, but it's a fact, and they are amazing. And also sponsored by Greats. Go to greats.com, use the promo code LakersNation for a very high quality pair of shoes. I just got a pair. They are absolutely phenomenal. The quality is incredible. Highly recommend them. Greats.com. That's GREATS.com. Use the promo code LakersNation. You get 15% off your order. Go check them out. So today we've got a lot to talk about, a lot going on. Lakers training camp is just about coming to a close. The Lakers preseason is going to kick off shortly, and the regular season is just around the corner. So big news topic coming out of Lakers training camp is that a team made up of Lonzo Ball and a bunch of bench players has gone 3-0 in scrimmages against the rest of the Lakers starters. So that means that Lonzo Ball and the rest of his team, which is made up of Vanderblue, Corey Brewer, Kyle Kuzma, and Thomas Bryant, that five-man team took out teams that featured players like Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, Ivica Zubac, Luol Deng, these guys who have been around the NBA, been in the NBA for some time, and yet Lonzo and Corey Brewer and these young guys ended up going 3-0 undefeated in scrimmages. And I mean, there's a couple ways to look at this. You can look at this on the negative side and say, these veteran guys that have been around the league for a while, that's not a good sign for them, right? I mean, that's not a good look for Julius Randle that he's getting beat by a bunch of kids and Corey Brewer, right? Also not a good look for Jordan Clarkson or Ivica Zubac or any of those guys. So you can look at it in the negative way, or you can flip it around and you can see what Luke Walton did here because it's kind of brilliant, all right? If you take a moment here and you really look at this roster, look at what Luke gave Lonzo. This isn't going to work all the time in NBA games, but look at the personnel that he's got. Lonzo Ball has Vanderblue with him, who can score like crazy, can shoot a little bit from the outside, was the D-League MVP, so this guy has talent. And then you also have Corey Brewer, who is a veteran slasher, knows how to get to the basket, is the exact type of wing player that Lonzo Ball is going to thrive with because you know that when Lonzo kicks the ball ahead, Corey Brewer can take the ball to the rim and finish. He also has Kyle Kuzma. Lonzo and Kyle Kuzma have incredible chemistry. We saw it already during Summer League, and Kyle Kuzma is a very good player, better than anyone thought coming out of the draft, and reports are that he's been shooting extremely well. So if you've got Summer League Kyle Kuzma hitting threes in addition to leaking out for easy buckets the way he was in Summer League, then that's a really good player to have on Lonzo's team. And then Thomas Bryant. Okay, easy to overlook that one. Thomas Bryant, kind of just a so-so big man right now. He's a project. He needs a lot of work, but he is the best rim-running big on the Lakers team. That's not saying much when the other three centers are Ivica Zubac and Andrew Bogut and Brook Lopez. Again, I'm just talking about centers here, not power forwards. But when those are the other three, yes, they're all kind of the plodding style centers, and they're not gonna rim run very well. But Thomas Bryant is still very good at getting out in transition for a big man, and that's the kind of guy that's going to really thrive playing with Lonzo Ball. On top of that, Thomas Bryant can actually step out and shoot the three, which also allows him to thrive playing with Lonzo Ball. So Luke cherry-picked some players that can very easily run with Lonzo. Now, why would Luke do that? Well, we've been hearing from Magic Johnson and Luke Walton and everybody else who will tell us for months now that this Lakers team wants to get out and run. They want to get defensive stops and then get out and run. It's almost like what they're describing as a new incarnation of this Showtime style offense. You want to be a tough, stingy defensive team that can also get out and run, get crowds on their feet, and throw out some highlight level plays because they are getting on the break in transition for easy baskets. So if you were trying to impart that style onto the Lakers team, you want to put together a team that can do just that. And the fact that they went 3-0 just proves Luke's point. He can now look to them and say, look, see guys, I got a team that went out and would run in transition and nobody could beat them. That just provides even more motivation for the rest of the team to get out and run. For guys like Larry Nance Jr., to make sure that he's focusing on getting out on the break. For Lonzo Julius Randle, doing the same thing. It proves the point that this Lakers team needs to get out and run. So, brilliant move by Luke Walton there in training camp. And you know what? We got to talk a little bit about Corey Brewer just for a moment. I may be in the wrong here because I have been for some time now talking about how Brook Lopez is going to be huge this year because he's in a contract year. Same with Julius Randle. Same with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. All these guys are in contract years, so they're going to have big seasons. I've been overlooking Corey Brewer, and maybe that's a mistake. Corey Brewer is also in a contract year. He may be 31 years old, but the guy can still play. And he is playing for his basketball life. He's a guy who's going to be competing for his next contract. We saw what happened with Nick Young in a similar situation last season where his basketball life was on the line and he put in a stellar performance. So now I'm of the mindset where I wouldn't be shocked to see Corey Brewer make a major impact on this team, which would not be great news for Luol Deng, who's going to be competing for minutes. I talked a little bit about this in a recent piece I wrote for LakersNation.com where we broke down the positional battles. Go check that out. But still, I am optimistic about what we're going to see from Corey Brewer. One last thing on this before we move on to a new topic. Lonzo Ball, Luke Walton has said, this is from Serena Winters and Matthew Moreno of Lakers Nation who were at practice, at training camp. And Luke Walton has said that the game looks like it's slowing down for Lonzo Ball. It looks like it's moving a little bit slower. If you've been watching NBA basketball, if you've been following rookies transitioning into the NBA the way I have for X number of years, for a long time, that comment should jump out at you. That should make you sit back and say, whoa, wait. That's not normal, guys. It's not. Rookies have a hard time adjusting. You will hear man to man, every rookie just about will say that the most difficult thing about adjusting to the NBA is getting used to the pace. The speed at which the game moves is just a difficult transition from college to the NBA. It's a much faster game, and that takes some time to get used to. And yet here, Luke Walton is saying that Lonzo Ball is playing like the game looks slower for him, like he is playing at a different pace than anyone else out there on the floor. That means that veterans, guys who have been around for a few years, the Randalls, Nances, Brewers, even compared to those guys, Lonzo looks like the game moves at a slower pace from him. He's reading things that much faster than everybody else is. That is really, really damn impressive. If you have a 19-year-old who is getting that compliment from a coach, that is a very good sign. So that was a comment that definitely jumped out at me and something that has me even more excited about Lonzo Ball. Now, some NBA news that we need to get to here. Some big changes that took place. First and foremost, the salary cap. The salary cap projection for next summer came in at $101 million, which is slightly lower than what they were projecting previously by about $1 million or so. And that's not good for the Lakers. The Lakers want as much cap space as they can have because they want to chase after guys like Paul George, LeBron James, DeMarcus Cousins, Russell Westbrook, all these guys that are going to command max contracts next summer. They want to go after these guys. They want every little bit of cap space available. $1 million may or may not break their pursuit of one of those guys. Probably not. But it could be the difference between bringing back some pieces in addition to landing one of those max guys. The Boston Celtics found themselves in a similar situation this summer. Landing Gordon Hayward was great, and based on previous salary cap projections, they would have been fine landing Gordon Hayward. But because the salary cap actually came in a little bit lower than what everyone expected, that meant that Boston had to make some extra moves in order to free up enough space, and that meant they had to trade Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley ended up leaving the team. He was traded to the Detroit Pistons. Ironically, the Pistons then let Kentavious Caldwell-Pope go, who wound up coming to the Lakers. So sort of strange way, but the Celtics assisted the Lakers in getting Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. But bottom line, not good news for the Lakers that the salary cap wasn't quite as high as they were hoping. Hopefully it will not create a problem with their pursuit of free agents next summer. Now, the league at the Board of Governors meeting also passed a couple of new rules. They flattened the draft lottery odds, so now the top 3 worst records in the league each possess a 14% chance of landing the top pick. Used to be roughly 25, 20, and 15%. Again, those are rough, it's not exact. For the first, second, and third worst records. So you had teams jockeying for position trying to get that worst record. We saw the Phoenix Suns tank like crazy in order to drop to the bottom. The Lakers could even be accused of tanking when they rested Luke Walton and Timofey Mozgov for the latter portion of the season, although you can make the argument that they were better without those guys playing because they both had difficult seasons last year. But still, the league is trying to address the tanking issue and trying to give less incentive for teams to tank. So now there is no difference. Well, I shouldn't say now. This rule doesn't go into effect until 2019. So it's that draft. So this year, the same odds will be in place. It's the following year that these will go into effect. So that means that it doesn't matter if you are the worst record, the second worst record, the third worst record, your odds will be the same. So the thought is that the race to the bottom will not quite be such a race anymore. What does all this have to do with the Lakers? Well, the byproduct of that is that now you had to take those extra percentages and add them somewhere else. And they've mostly wound up in the middle of the lottery. So that 5th seed, that 6th seed, that 7th seeded draft spot has now a greater chance of winding up with the number 1 overall pick. And of course, now it's the top 4 picks that are chosen by lottery and not the top 3. So the Lakers don't have their 2018 pick. They do have their 2019 pick when the rule goes into effect. So should the Lakers strike out in free agency, it would not be, and hopefully that doesn't happen, but I don't think it would be much of a stretch to say that they could be one of those teams that's in that 5, 6, 7, 8 spot where they've got young guys like Lonzo Ball, they've got Brandon Ingram, they have these players who are growing and getting better, so they probably aren't the worst team in the league, but they are also probably not quite good enough to make the playoffs, so they could find themselves with a higher chance of getting the top overall pick in 2019 should they find themselves in the middle of the pack there. Of course, that's not what Lakers fans want. Lakers fans should want to see them land some stars next summer, make a big leap, push back into the playoffs, return to glory, all that good stuff. But should they strike out, it might be a bit more palatable to sit in that middle of the pack range than it was previously. The league also decided that Adam Silver can fine teams for resting players. Kind of a shot at the Phoenix Suns, who shut down Eric Bledsoe, even though he was healthy. He was arguably the best player on their team last season, and they shut him down in an effort to tank. Well, now Adam Silver can fine teams for doing that. One sort of side note on this, they've also encouraged that players not be rested for national TV games. No problem there. Totally get it. If you have LeBron James versus Steph Curry, you've got the Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors on national TV, and both teams decide to rest their stars. So suddenly LeBron's not playing, Steph Curry's not playing, Kevin Durant's not playing. That's a problem for the league. You don't want that to happen on national TV. So this rule sort of takes care of that. The problem I have with it is this. They're also recommending that teams, if they are going to rest a player, they do so during a home game, not a road game. I get it because the Lakers, let's say you're a Lakers fan and you live in New York. Well, you only get one opportunity to see the Lakers live. Okay, they're only going to go to New York once, right? And so that's your one opportunity. And if they're resting all of their starters, then you don't get to see them play and you just miss out for an entire year. That's not great. But I'd also contend that NBA games are not cheap, and Lakers games in particular are not cheap. Sure, you have fans who have season seats and are going all the time, but for a lot of fans, this is a one-time thing. Like, they get to go to one game per year. And if I've spent my hard-earned money and I have just enough to go to one game, and a day or two before that game, I've bought my tickets well in advance, I'm ready to go, my whole family's excited, I find out that the Lakers are going to be resting their starters that game, I'm going to be disappointed. That's going to be a bit of a downer, especially since that's the one game I get to go to. I think that there's more people in that boat than the NBA realizes. And maybe it's something they'll address in the future, but it's I don't know that the solution they've come up with here is perfect. I don't think they would admit that either. I don't think they would claim that it's a perfect fix to the problem. But I get what they're trying to do, but I think they may be creating another issue where home fans who only really get to see one game may not be able to see their stars play, and that's disappointing and always frustrating. So it'd be interesting to see how the NBA handles that situation moving forward. That's going to about wrap things up for today, but I do want to mention that the preseason starts on Saturday. Finally, guys, Lakers basketball is back. I am super excited, pumped for this. And we are going to do a Facebook Live show on the Lakers Nation Facebook page on Saturday at 3 o'clock. It's going to be myself, Corey Hansford, and Hannah Kulik, all from Lakers Nation. We are going to be live on Facebook, on the Lakers Nation Facebook page. We will be doing a preseason preview, talking all about the game, talking all about everything that you can imagine for the Lakers preseason. So definitely tune in, check it out, 3 o'clock on Saturday. And the game starts at 7 o'clock that evening. I'll also be at the game. I'm going to be meeting some fans out in front outside of the Honda Center, and we will be interviewing a few fans and things like that. So exciting stuff coming up for preseason. So please make sure you tune in on Facebook and look for me outside the Honda Center. You may get an interview, may get on the Lakers Nation podcast here in the future. That's about it for today. We'll wrap things up. Don't forget, guys, go to meundies.com/LakersNation, 20% off some phenomenal underwear. And, of course, greats.com. Use the promo code LakersNation. Awesome company. I love the shoes I got from them. Very, very excited to have them on as a sponsor. That's it for today. My name is Trevor Lane. Find me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane. Of course, go check out LakersNation.com for all the latest breaking Lakers news. Until next time, see ya.